I used to think when I was little, if only I had an older brother to look out for me. And then when Dad died, all I wanted was for my real mum to come and find me again.
Here you are living the dream.
Nightmare, more like.
We just need to get to know each other.
You forgot.
Kat Slater and Alfie Moon's potential reunion is teased as their son, Tommy, plays matchmaker. Kat arranges a dinner to celebrate Alfie's hormone therapy end, during which Tommy senses a spark between them. However, their complicated history may hinder reconciliation. Meanwhile, other Walford dramas unfold, including a tense confrontation and a cancer survivor's story. Tommy plays matchmaker in Eastenders, hinting to a reunion between Kat and Alfie. Reunited once more? Given that her son Tommy has chosen to act as matchmaker the next week, a reunion between Kat Slater and Alfie Moon may be in the works again. Scenes from the upcoming episodes of BBC One and iPlayer will include Kat throwing Alfie and the boys a surprise dinner at Walford East to commemorate the conclusion of his hormone therapy. Tommy watches how Alfie is acting around Kat during the meal and asks him directly if he wants to get back with his ex. Tommy offers to take the twins home with him so they may have some alone time. Will anything, nevertheless, happen between Alfie and Kat? They may decide not to, even though they have been one of the most popular couples on the soap opera historically. Among the many things that have transpired between them over the years are Alfie hiding the knowledge that Phil had cheated on her and fathering a kid with Kat's cousin. All we can do is wait and watch what occurs. Here is a comprehensive list of all the EastEnders spoilers for the upcoming week's episodes. In the meanwhile, Digital Spy delves further into the advantages and disadvantages of Alfie's prostate cancer plot and explains why it's crucial that the soap opera depicts it on screen. Dramatic Revelation and Demand are aired by EastEnders in an early BBC iPlayer release. A tantalizing cliffhanger. This post contains spoilers for the EastEnders episode that airs tonight on BBC iPlayer. In the most recent episode of EastEnders, Elaine Peacock made a shocking discovery for which she might go to hell. George Knight's ex-wife Cindy Beale approached him after learning that he had agreed to a fight despite being told it may kill him. Unaware of George's intentions, Elaine interjected, feeling envious of her man's intense attention towards Cindy. In the meantime, Cindy attempted to mend fences with daughters Gina and Anna after having a brief conversation with Bianca Jackson, who expressed her amusement at Cindy's resurrection, and as Cindy inquired about her former lover David Wicks. The girls insisted that Cindy tell them everything she knew about George's underground boxing habit because they were upset that Cindy had concealed it. Hearing the revelations upset Anna and Gina, Cindy advised George to get therapy for the anguish that had led him to start fighting. Cindy caught George drinking in the Queen Vic pub's cellar when she attempted to talk him into an online therapy session. A sobering assessment of his prospects for brain injury persuaded George to start therapy at the Beales residence after all. But George closed the laptop and left the session when the therapist, Conrad, mentioned how difficult the previous events must have been for him. Cindy was told to back off by George, and Elaine, Gina, and Anna pushed her to do what George asked. To cope with his trauma, George turned back to booze and called Rufus to get the specifics of the upcoming altercation. Cindy was desperate to save George, so she confided in her son Peter Beale, who encouraged her to keep trying. Cindy begged George to get assistance as they made their way back to the bar, but he announced that he would be boxing once again. As Elaine heard their rising voices and approached to the door, Cindy gave George a warning: stop fighting or she will tell Elaine that they had kissed. George informed Cindy she could do as she pleased and that he didn't give a damn. But now that Elaine knows about his disloyalty and reckless behavior, what will be her response? Spoilers for EastEnders: Billy muses on a vicious attack and is reminded of his violent background. Billy Mitchell's tolerance is still being tried after his father Stevie moved to EastEnders. Having not seen his kid in 25 years, Stevie made his on-screen debut during Aunt Sal's funeral in January. When they finally met at the end of April, a family feud broke out in the Queen Vic. After Lexi asked him about her great-great-grandfather and Phil urged him to shut up, Stevie went to the bar and drank away his sorrows. Billy was eager to listen to his father later in the evening, but he tossed him out and cautioned him not to show his face again when he brought up Jamie's location. Billy asked Stevie to avoid Walford once more, but Stevie disregarded his requests in tonight's episode of the BBC One soap opera. Stevie discovered Will in the cafe, studying for a test on drama. Will was aided by Stevie's counsel to memorize material for his exams, but when Billy came in, the peaceful atmosphere changed. Billy motioned for Will to go, but he wouldn't go. Billy became so enraged with Will standing up and disregarding his father's desires that it appeared as though he would have struck his son had Honey never come. Billy visited Phil later on. Having physically abused Jamie, Billy is known to be capable of violence, therefore he was disappointed in himself for considering it. He also thought that Stevie's influence had changed his behavior. Phil brought up the fact that Stevie has never used violence and that Will, the adolescent, was probably the one who set things off because he was pushing his father's buttons. He then advised Billy to keep Stevie near to his family so that Billy would be able to learn the truth about his whereabouts. Spoiler alert, Anna contacts Junior on Eastenders. The family finds it difficult to reason with George. Date of iPlayer release, Monday, May 13, 2024, at 6 o'clock. Monday, May 13, 2024, at 19:30 on BBC One. Cindy discloses that George is preparing for a new altercation and that he ignores his relatives' attempts to talk him out of it. Gina even tries using blackmail in an attempt to get George to back down, but it doesn't work. Anna then sends Junior a message in an attempt to break up the argument on her own. Amy, meantime, is envious of Denzel and Ebony's developing friendship. She makes the decision that she wants to sleep with Denzel, but Penny advises her to wait until she's ready. In another scene, Bianca and Brittany get into mischief while attempting to purchase goods for Whitney's wedding. When Brittany reveals what transpired, Whitney isn't impressed. Yolanda and Patrick decide to take a vacation today as well, feeling pressured by the past few occurrences. 53 brand new spoiler images show Lauren from Eastenders getting ready to confess. Cheryl Ferguson, star of Eastenders, explains why she kept quiet about her cancer diagnosis. It was putting on a smile. Cheryl Ferguson, an actor on EastEnders, has talked about why she kept quiet after learning she had cancer. In 2015, Cheryl, who portrayed Heather Trott in the BBC One serial opera from 2007 to 2012, was informed that she had stage 2 womb cancer. However, she did not make her diagnosis public until the end of the previous month. Cheryl said to the panel during her appearance on today's Loose Women show, "I kept it secret for a long time because I had to absorb a lot of stuff. Furthermore, it's challenging in our line of work because there is no income. If you are not working, you must continue to work. Thus, our focus was to maintain my recovery while wearing a smile after my surgery. At the moment that I realized I had it, a lot of psychological things were happening to me. It's only up until sort of the end of last year that I managed to kind of go, enough is enough, now stop this, I need to just crack on." The performer replied, "For me, it's about letting women know about what they should do with their bodies," in response to a question about why she felt it was time to make her diagnosis public. "We don't give ourselves enough attention. People don't listen to themselves sufficiently. In general, women appear to never have time for themselves because we're always taking care of other people. In other words, you should generally pay attention to what happens to you and act upon it. I believe that I wouldn't be here right now if I hadn't taken action on what was going on with me. Please subscribe our channel."